Bad Larry.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bad Larry Kingdom. I'm your host, Bad Larry, and we are looking at the Amazing Spider-Man number 16. This issue was released June 9th, 1964. And if you want a graded copy, well, a 6.0 will cost you nearly 840 smackaroonies. This is the first time ever Daredevil was featured in a Spider-Man comic, so that's pretty cool. This issue is titled Duel with Daredevil and was written by Stan Lee and drawn by Steve Ditko. The main thing I love about these old comics is that they don't faff around. Stan promises action, thrills, and suspense, and this page is already delivering. How fun is it to see the bounding Spider-Man being chased about by a pack of carnies? We're off with the bang. Aunt May is giving Peter that yappity yappity yap. He needs to get out of there. Nothing like swinging through the city to clear the head when Spidey spots some crime in progress. Some bank robbers are making their getaway, and Matt Murdock is a witness. Well, kinda. Just as a comparison, look at how far the character has come. On the left, the 1964 version of Matt Murdock, and on the right, the 2026 version of him in his Daredevil #1 issue. Of course, the newest art looks better, but the old art by Steve Ditko is so nostalgic. I must say I like them equally. I wonder what Steve could have done with modern technology. As the thugs look to take out Matt Murdock to leave no eyewitnesses, wink wink, Spider-Man comes to his rescue, sending the thugs a-running. Why are you running? I love how Stan Lee creates urgency, stating Spider-Man took these guys out in just 2 seconds. That is ultra fast. And I love how Steve Ditko executed it by having Spider-Man spin and punch and flip. It's very acrobatic. But that's the point, right? This issue features Daredevil. So I expect a lot of acrobatic action as promised by Stan Lee. Again, we see the time come in 60 seconds flat. It just shows the incredible speed that Spider-Man has. We rarely get to see the costume changes anymore. I like the costume change scenes. As a point of reference, the DD, the Daredevil, is using his powers, and he guesses that Spider-Man is 17, but the timeline in the earlier comics suggests that he's still around 15. I also love how sacred the secret identity is to both Peter and Matt Murdock. They both make decisions based on if their secret identity will be revealed or not, which is a huge plot point. I know this yellow and brown or yellow and red outfit didn't last long, but it's my favorite look for Daredevil. He decides it's faster to travel back to the office this way than bumble down the street as Matt Murdock. I ask myself, why did Daredevil's costume look this way in the first place? Well, it is based on the 1940s circus performer's costume. The bright yellow was used to make Daredevil jump off the page, and you can see that the shorts and the top part look identical to the acrobats of the circus of the time. Daredevil's name is derived from the circus performers who would perform aerial acrobatics. The devil part and Matt being from Hell's Kitchen is just more pun work, more duality from Stan Lee. Again, Stan Lee uses time to show speed. It only took Daredevil minutes to travel the entirety of the city. Pretty impressive. Plus, this page points out that Daredevil actually has an advantage over normal people with his superpowers. Daredevil can see so much more than us normies with his radar senses. The simplicity of this writing is actually fresh. Not everything needs to be so cloak and dagger. Matt's partner, Foggy Nelson, invites him to the circus for some much needed rest and recuperation. It's a simple plot solution to get the characters to the circus. It's not that complicated. And what could go wrong, right? We should know by now, Stan Lee makes sure that his villains are all in green. So we know this Ringmaster is going to be the baddie of the issue. The Ringmaster is feeling some shame for losing a recent battle against the Hulk. Imagine the idea of the Hulk battling some regular Muppet just wearing a hypno hat. Wild. I've also noticed that the villains are also, well, let's just be honest, they're ugly. Hey, back in the 60s, if you're ugly, you're destined for villainy. These circus folks are using some false advertising to drum up attendance to the show, promising Spider-Man is going to perform. Peter Parker is so eager to boost up his aura to the public that he decides Spider-Man will show up. What could go wrong? Poor innocent Peter Parker. J. Jonah Jameson is trying reverse psychology on the public regarding Spider-Man. He orders Peter to stop taking pictures of Spider-Man, and if they stop writing stories about him, maybe the web head will just go away. Spider-Man is as cool as they come, but Peter Parker is all thumbs, especially with the girls. He drops his circus ticket and sends his girl Betty into emotional trauma, thinking that he's cheating. Once Matt Murdock realizes Spider-Man is planning to perform at the circus, he changes his mind, decides to go to the circus anyway. Peter Parker's spider tingles jumps off the chart when he sees Matt Murdock. I will acknowledge that spider sense is probably the sneaky best power that Spider-Man has. About his strength and speed and wall crawling, it's that tingle, like being able to read the matrix coding. I find it absolutely fascinating. The toy manufacturers are still making these Spider-Man figures from the version over 60 years ago, like this Mezco 112 version, showing this exact split face of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I think it just shows how important these first stories of Spider-Man they are to the overall culture and the character. I like seeing the human side of Spider-Man. If you were 15 and had Spider-Man's powers, wouldn't you do something like this? Just jump into a circus event and have some fun? Well, the show is packed. The Ringmaster has some nefarious plans. But even though he advertised Spider-Man will be performing, he isn't counting on him actually showing up. The crowd was promised Spider-Man, and now they're getting impatient, demanding to see the web crawler in action as promised. Matt Murdock is the only one in the crowd who knows Spider-Man is actually ready to spring into action. Just before the Ringmaster could launch his evil plan on the crowd, Spider-Man makes his appearance, flashy as ever. Everyone is going nuts seeing Spider-Man flipping and dipping on the high wire. This is just fun. I love these old comics. Comics now are geared more for a mature audience, but in the 60s, it was the teens and preteens who were buying the comics. An easy start, 1, 2, 3 game, and it's all action. And to be honest, who wouldn't love to see this performance in real life? Ringmaster says, so what that Spider-Man showed up? Even he can't stop me now. I wonder why Spider-Man's tingle didn't dingle when he got close to the Ringmaster. Oh well, he is getting put under the Ringmaster's spell now. Spider-Man should know to never trust the ugly dude with the horrible mustache game draped in all green and purple. These are the baddies. Not only has the Ringmaster hypnotized Spider-Man, he's hypnotized the entire crowd, the biggest one yet. It's a simple hold-up robbery? That's the grand plan? Hypnotize everyone and steal their valuables? I guess it's not a bad plan if you're living the whole carny life. But the Ringmaster did not expect the one blind dude who cannot be hypnotized to be in the crowd, and that blind dude also to be Daredevil. The Ringmaster quickly realizes he has no power over Daredevil, so he uses Spider-Man as his attack dog. A great little plot twist to get two super popular heroes to fight each other, but not for realsies. This is awesome! Spider-Man has his spidey sense and Daredevil with his radar senses, both kind of equal in that regard. Daredevil is able to just duck and dodge Spider-Man for now. Daredevil knows the key to ending all of this is the Ringmaster, but Spider-Man saves the Ringmaster in the nick of time, still under the Fiend's hypnotic control. Daredevil is faster than what Spider-Man expected, but Daredevil cannot match the pure strength of Spider-Man. He's going to need to use his wits against the web crawler. The only real advantage that Daredevil has is that Spider-Man isn't really thinking for himself right now. I love these two panels. Daredevil performing in the circus like an actual trapeze daredevil would in a real circus. Both Daredevil and Spider-Man have amazing speed and agility. Daredevil has done it! He flipped over Spider-Man, knocked the Ringmaster off his feet, and took control of his Hypno Hat. Daredevil uses the Hypno Hat to reverse the spell on Spider-Man, freeing his mind from the Ringmaster's trance. I like Steve Ditko's art here, showing Daredevil and Spider-Man face to face. And you can see Ditko drew Daredevil's super cut, but slightly smaller than Spider-Man. And to Stan Lee's credit, the yellow suit does pop off the page. I really do like it more than the all-red suit, but that's just probably me. Daredevil nearly spills the beans about his super senses to Spider-Man. But the Ringmaster isn't done. He still has his troupe of carny performers, and he unleashes them all onto Daredevil and Spider-Man. Listen, I don't know how well this bowling maneuver would actually be, but hey, it's fun to see. This is so cool though. Daredevil is showing us all that he's a better trapeze artist than the actual professionals. It's these little details we don't often get in modern comics. But now it's Spider-Man's turn. He's about to make these carnies look like the real clowns that they are. And now that Spider-Man is back in his right mind, Daredevil slinks away and gets back into his civilian clothes. No one will ever be the wiser, as the crowd is still in a hypno trance. Spider-Man is making light work of these fools when the strong man attacks with a 500-pound dumbbell. 500 pounds is still nothing though to Spider-Man, as he flips old boy over his head like he's a toy doll. The action! Everyone is tossing weights at Spider-Man, but even while holding a 500-pound dumbbell, he's still able to dodge everything and crack jokes? Spider-Man is playing hot potato with that thing. Oops, now you boys are knocked out. Now on to the main clown. Blink and you miss it. Spider-Man knocks out Stilty and is on to the Trapeze Twins. Don't these boys know Spider-Man has webbing? Spider-Man has webbed up one to the trapeze, and now has the other one webbed up. What a show! Too bad no one will remember it. Aw, come on. The Cannonball guy? These fools just don't give up. They're about to shoot Cannonball Man now at Spider-Man. A little webbing, and now Spider-Man is riding old boy like the rodeo show. No duty. The Ringmaster has thrown in the white towel. Run for it, every man for himself. Spider-Man turns the tables on these carnies, using their own Cannonball Man against them. Spider-Man has cooked everyone except the Ringmaster, who's making a break for it. Somehow, Daredevil just left the Hypno Hat randomly on the ground? Why didn't he destroy that thing? Spider-Man finally learned his lesson, I guess. He had his eyes closed, so the trick didn't work on him a second time. And Spider-Man has the Hypno Hat now. And after he collects the carnies up like the weekly trash, he sets his sights on the main baddie, the Ringmaster himself. Spider-Man uses the Hypno Hat on the crowd, freeing them. The crowd suspects nothing. This is hilarious. Daredevil beat the snot out of the Ringmaster, but he still gotta pay them bills. So as Matt Murdock, the lawyer, he gives Ringmaster his business card. Hey, even the baddies need representation. And everything wraps up nicely, like a little comic book present with a nice little bow. The Ringmaster goes to jail, Matt Murdock and Spider-Man go back to their separate lives, and even though there isn't a cliffhanger, the excitement is still there for the next issue because so much happens in these old comics with every issue. I love Spider-Man, but I will make my claim that this version, the original 1960s comic book Spider-Man, is my favorite Spider-Man. But what is your favorite version of Spider-Man? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button for a playa. See you next time. Peace.